the war for Mexico. Today, we're bringing you the news from July 14th to July 18th. And today, in our video, we're talking about the Sinaloa cartel cell arrested and was linked to a massacre in Chiapas. We're talking about a Morena councilwoman that was injured in Tecate, gunfights, and a drone bomb in Sinaloa. Once again, Baja California governor was arrested. USA designates Los Viagras and Juarez cartel as terrorist organizations. And to finish off, 10 corpses were abandoned in Zacatecas. A Sinaloa cartel cell was arrested for mass killing in El Bosque, Chiapas. 1 week after 8 corpses were left with a threatening narco message outside El Bosque, Chiapas, state authorities have arrested the Sinaloa cartel cell they claim carried out the killings. Yesterday, the State Attorney General Office of Chiapas reported the arrest of 9 people, members of a Sinaloa cartel cell accused as the perpetrators of the mass killing last week. In that event, civilians found 8 corpses dumped off the side of Jitotol to La Cumbre Federal Highway, as reported by Borderland B. Narco messages found at the scene accused the victims of being distributors, manufacturers, and dealers of crystal. Forensic investigators said all victims were killed by gunshots to the head. Authorities seized 3 vehicles, 29 firearms, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, tactical gear, tire spikes, communication radios, drones, cell phones, narcotics, and various documents outlining the criminal cell's internal rules. The arrested members told police that they were gunmen for the Sinaloa cartel. The seized banners showing rules appear to be similar to those found when authorities arrested a Sinaloa cartel kidnapping cell in Acoyagua, Chiapas in March 2026. The criminal cell was part of the Los Mayos faction, suggesting this group may also be as well. It's always weird for me when I find out that Sinaloa cartel is operating down in the south. And I never figured out they'll be going down south, But that just shows us how much trouble the Sinaloa cartel is having in between themselves. That the Los Mayos cell is going into Chiapas now. And we have known that the Sinaloa cartel has also been in Puebla and Jalisco. And about the Sinaloa cartel, we're talking about the Chapitos. They've been in Puebla and Jalisco. They're spreading out. They don't want to be no longer in Sinaloa. Sinaloa is too hot. But let's continue. María de Jesús Quijada, a Morena councilwoman for Tecate, Baja California, was injured in an ambush. María de Jesús Quijada, a Morena councilwoman for Tecate, Baja California, was injured in an ambush on Tuesday, July 14, 2026. Quijada remains in critical condition at a San Diego hospital, but her husband died at the scene. Quijada and her husband were ambushed in the Hacienda subdivision of Tecate by armed men while she was in a black Kia with her husband and daughter around 5 p.m. The councilwoman sustained multiple gunshot wounds to the head, but her husband, Jesus Pereira, died in the attack. Quijada's family told Zeta Tijuana that she is alive in critical condition with 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Quijada is being treated at a hospital in San Diego, United States. Authorities said that the attackers fled in a white car, which was located minutes later in Benito Juarez neighborhood in Tecate. The gunmen threw Molotov cocktails at it, likely to destroy evidence. No motive of the attack has been identified. Both Maria de Jesus Quijada and her husband Jesus Pereira held numerous roles within local government. Quijada oversees the welfare, water, and energy protection of children and the adolescents committees in Tecate. She also briefly served as interim mayor of Tecate in May 2026, while Major Roman Cota Munoz was away on an official trip. Jesus Pereira, a lawyer by training, worked on the campaign of Morena Senator Armando Ayala Robles. He also acted as a counselor for the State Human Rights Commission before stepping down to take on the role of Tecate's delegate for the State Secretary of Security and Citizen Protection. It's sad, it's very sad that both her husband and her suffered this attack. They genuinely sound like good people, and they look like good people. They look like legit, humble people. And just them helping out the community as much as they make it sound in this article, it sounds to me why they would like to target it. Maybe they were not collaborating with criminal organizations like a lot of governors and politicians do. Maybe they were an excuse. You know, nowadays, you get attacked for everything. You collaborate, you get attacked by the rivals. You don't collaborate, you get attacked by the cartel that you're not collaborating with. It's crazy nowadays. Let's continue though. Gunfights and a drone bombing once again rock Esquinapa, Sinaloa. Numerous shootouts between security forces and criminal groups, raids on narco camps as well, and a drone bombing have rocked the town of Esquinapa in southern Sinaloa over the last few days as the government struggles to restore order in the state. Rundown of the events. On July 14, two operations carried out in Isla del Bosque, Palmito del Verde, and Esquinapa. The Mexican Navy seized firearms, ammunition, tactical vests, a pickup truck, and tire spikes. On July 13, one person died and at least 4 others were injured following simultaneous armed attacks on Monday morning in different parts of downtown Esquinapa. One shooting occurred in front of the mayor's home. 13th of July, members of the National Guard arrested 10 members of the cartel in Francisco y Madero neighborhood. On July 13, soldiers found and destroyed 3 clandestine camps used by criminal groups during the operations. 2 people were also arrested. On July 11, a man injured by shrapnel from a drone dropped explosive devices in Colonia Damaso Murua, which caused his injuries. On July 2nd, a severely tortured male corpse was found tossed on the side of the road in Esquinapa with a narco message. The narco message said the following: "For those who think that El Güero Pin is still in charge, Ramiro is in charge here now. And how they're all going to end up is this." And they left it with the body, right? Misael Guerrero El Güero Pin was Los Chapitos Plaza boss for Esquinapa until he was arrested on June 25th. Ramiro is likely Ramiro Ramirez, alias El Huicho, a CJNG Plaza boss for Northern Nayarit and Southern Sinaloa. According to All Sources News, Ramiro took over for El Güero Pin after his capture to continue a fight against Los Mayos. Esquinapa has become one of the most volatile municipalities in southern Sinaloa as organized criminal groups continue battling for control of trafficking corridors stretching towards neighboring Nayarit. They want to control the roads, they want to control the streets, they want to control La Plaza. The municipality has repeatedly experienced armed confrontations, road blockades, and military operations over the past year. However, the CJNG will not stop. Ernesto Rufo Apel, former Baja California governor, was arrested on Huachicol charges. Ernesto Rufo Apel, former governor of Baja California State, was arrested by Mexico's Attorney General Office in Ensenada, Baja California, on charges related to organized crime, field theft, and tax evasion. According to the government, they had been running an investigation on him and his company which they were doing all sorts of illegal scandals, such as fuel theft, known as huachicol. The investigation is connected to the 2025 seizure of approximately 15.5 million liters of fuel and more than 100 tanker trucks of two railway yards located in Saltillo and Ramos Arizpe, Coahuila. He's done for. He is done for. He was committing tax evasion and he was robbing fuel. That's something you cannot be doing over there, especially with the huachicol crackdown that they were doing in the past years. You don't want to be doing that no more. We saw what happened to El Marro. U.S. State Department designates Juarez Cartel and Los Viagras as foreign terrorist organizations. The U.S. Department of State yesterday designated the Juarez Cartel and Los Viagras as foreign terrorist organizations, bringing the total number of Mexican criminal groups on the list to 8. The designation significantly expands the U.S. government's legal and financial tools to disrupt these groups, enabling asset freezes, prohibitions on transactions within U.S. persons, and enhanced penalties for providing material support or resources to the organizations. This is the second tranche of Mexican criminal groups to be added. Last February, the Trump administration added the Sinaloa Cartel, Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, Cartel del Noreste, la Nueva Familia Michoacana, Gulf Cartel, and Carteles Unidos to the foreign terrorist organization list. Los Viagras is a Mexican criminal organization based in the state of Michoacán, known for its involvement of methamphetamine production, extortion, kidnapping, and violent turf wars, often clashing with rival groups like the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and La Nueva Familia Michoacana. The Juarez Cartel, one of the Mexicans' oldest drug trafficking groups, operates primarily along the Texas to Mexico border in Ciudad Juarez, where it has long controlled major smuggling routes for cocaine, marijuana, heroin, and fentanyl into the United States. The Juarez Cartel was the group whose action sparked the initial conversation about designation of criminal groups in Mexico as terrorist groups when members of their armed wing La Línea murdered 3 women and 6 children from a Mormon community in Sonora. That Mormon community is known as Los Levaron. So Juarez and Michoacán. Michoacán is a very hot plaza, but Juarez is now hot because the Juarez Cartel is now a terrorist organization. Juarez Cartel, which operates in Juarez as the name says, and in El Paso, Texas, is now in danger after being named a terrorist organization by the USA. And to finish off the news today, we have 10 corpses abandoned around Zacatecas. On the morning of July 18, the Zacatecas authorities confirmed the discovery of 10 corpses spread in public areas in the municipalities of Morelos, Panuco, and San Alto. There has been videos circulating on social media about them being hanged on a wall. According to local media, motorists reported finding 4 bodies hanging from a bridge over Federal Highway 54 in the municipality of Panuco. Later, 5 more dead bodies were reported on the side of the same highway but near Morelos municipality. The final corpses was found inside a bag in San Alto. Few photographs of the body dumps have surfaced online. And with that tragic news, we're ending off the video for today. It has been the War for Mexico. Like and subscribe